Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another discussion thread. Today we have a Reddit post and not just a thread on the forums. And we have kind of a unique idea. It would make sense. I like the title of it, so I do want to read what he has to say. A lot of people do like it, so I'm going to see what other people have to say about it. And I'm going to give my overall opinion and what I think of just the feature in whole. I used to do a lot of these in the past. I couldn't find any good threads to really make a video like this on, but I finally found it, so let's do it and let's see if it's, truly a good idea or not. Alrighty, so like always, I'm going to link this down below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But let's do it. So the title, I'd love to be able to create a mercenary company with the depth of a faction. So, or like a kingdom. Okay. Alright, so here's what I have to say. I started a new campaign recently and decided to remain a mercenary for as long as possible because I generally lost interest when I became a vassal or when I created a kingdom. Things are good in the life of a soldier of fortune. When I happen across a castle with just over 100 defenders, a mercenary company needs a base of operations. I say to myself and roll the dice. I attack a peasant party to enter into war, siege the castle, take it, and just barely negotiate peace. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. I think somebody just texted me. Okay, that was just a text. Make sure it wasn't a call. Sorry about that. So, he says he likes playing just as a mercenary for the most parts. So I get my affairs in order with my new base of operations and head back into the field to find a war in which to ply my trade. I find a lord and intend to offer my party for hire when I'm greeted with a message saying clans with settlements are not considered mercenaries. It was disappointing, but got me thinking. Interesting. So once he got the land for himself, and then he tried to become another mercenary for a different clan. He got this message that popped up, which I didn't know was a message because I never actually tried it, right? Usually when I was a mercenary, I never actually tried to take any, any castle or, settlement for myself. It was disappointing, but got me thinking. What if mercenary companies were set up more like factions? You could join an existing one or start your own. Instead of policies, companies could have tenants that determine how they carry themselves, take/don't take noble prisoners, recruit/don't recruit bandit troops, etc. Tenants. I don't know if these two coincide with each other. But okay, let's keep reading. I'm going to give my full opinion on it, and I already have some ideas, but let's keep reading. Each company could have a reputation score indicating how the nobles view the company, independent of your own relations, as well as an effectiveness score, perhaps total accumulated influence, showing how they perform in the field. That would be cool. So like their effectiveness score would kind of determine their price as well. And this can be an effectiveness score that goes up and down depending how they do and over time, if they have a good track record or a bad one. And then if there's like a menu in game, you can see which are the best mercenaries and which ones you really want on your side and which ones are kind of lacking. That'd be very cool. This is a very cool idea right over here. They could also give some depth to the vassal/kingdom playthrough when you have to decide whether to hire an effective but disreputable company, perhaps as a relationship loss to other nobles, or one with less rep, okay, or a less effective but more respected group. Perhaps new workshops could become available in cities, allowing you to set up a company HQ to garrison, train, and recruit troops. Perhaps the larger existing mercenary companies have their own independent castles. Perhaps rarely a bandit camp spawns in a ruined fortification that you can claim and repair after clearing them out. I feel like there's a lot of possibility to making mercenary companies function like a faction. Any other soldiers of fortune agree? Okay. So definitely some good points. I think even if this does not get added, like the whole concept of starting your own mercenary kingdom, even though if this it sounds good on paper, sounds like a good idea, I don't personally think it's going to get added. But certain stuff mentioned here could definitely make it into the game, and I think it's a good overall idea, effectiveness being one. But even if it doesn't make it into the game, I think this would be a very good mod. I think it would be kind of easier to make than other, well, no, I wouldn't say easier to make, but you could really, with this, you can go with the same template as making a kingdom. Just whenever you do make a kingdom, or whenever you click to start a kingdom or to start, it could be like a drop down menu and be like, hey, do you want to start a kingdom or do you want to start a mercenary guild or something like that, right? And you can choose between the two, right? Now, here's how I would make it play with the game more, because obviously he's talking about here how mercenaries need a piece of land, and he said something about you could repair some hideouts and make it yours, or new workshops could pop up and you can set them up as a company HQ. That's why I think it won't be in the game, because these two things probably aren't going to make it where you can build your own camps. Maybe in a DLC down in the future, but for right now, I don't think it's going to make it into the game. And adding more workshops, that's probably going to have problems with the economy somehow. So again, those choices probably won't make it into the game. While they're good, while I do agree with them, I'm just trying to be realistic on what can possibly get there on the chopping block and actually get voted on, like, hey, should we implement this or not, right? There's a lot of risks in this. Now, here's how I would make it a little bit less risky, a little bit more viable to actually get put into the game. So what I would do is, same way that you... Okay, so first of all, making a mercenary guild... How do I explain this? I think it shouldn't interfere as much as making a kingdom. Because when you make a kingdom, you're like this new player in town, right? And then you can gain your own settlements and you get into the game of just like war and peace and this and that with all the other big kingdoms. You're in the big leagues then, right? But I think as a mercenary company or a mercenary guild, the whole point of like owning a lot of land, it wouldn't make sense. Well, it could happen, right? But it just wouldn't make sense that, since you're the player-controlled mercenary guild, for you at some point to just take over the whole map as if you were a kingdom, if that kind of makes sense. I know it's like a weird concept. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you give them ability to just build everywhere and just expand everywhere and do this, and that, then your mercenary guild turns into a kingdom. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not a mercenary guild anymore. It's a kingdom. It's just you call it a mercenary guild, but you guys kind of do the same thing, right? Here's how I would change it and how it kind of, in my eyes, see it as viable. What I would do is, whenever you want to start, whenever you want to become a vassal or a mercenary, you run up to a kingdom. If it's a vassal, you go up to the leader. If you want to become a mercenary, you go up to any lord that's part of a clan that's inside the overall kingdom, right? And I think there should be a third option, but this should only be available to the leaders as well. So same way as if you were to go up to a leader and say, hey, I want to be your vassal, there should be another drop-down menu that says, hey, I want to create a mercenary guild under your kingdom. Now, what this will do, and I think this is how it's still gonna incorporate this whole like having your own like little place, right? So once you join under a certain kingdom, whenever you visit a town, what's it called, or any town in that certain kingdom, there's going to be a new little place you can visit called Visit Guild. This way, it doesn't have to be like a new workshop spot. It doesn't have to be like anything crazy. It could just be a new spot on the map that just opens up to you once you start this, and you can enter it same way that you enter a tavern. And you know what I mean? You can even put it on like the what's it called, like the settle whenever you go inside to visit the settlements, you can put it in there too with like a door, same way as a tavern, whole same setup. And that could be like your little place. You can have your little stash, you can have this and that, you can have other members just hanging out, whatever, right? Kind of like a tavern setup, right? I think that would be the best way. I don't know exactly how the relationships would work. Like, let's say if you were to start a mercenary guild under the Khazaits, I feel like if you do it under that certain kingdom, there should be certain rules, right? So obviously you can't join as a mercenary against their enemies, but if you can join as a mercenary with someone they're cool with against someone they're not cool with, if that kind of makes sense, right? So obviously you can't join against them, but if they're fighting any wars, you can join their wars. And also, if they're neutral with everybody on the map right now, you can pick your targets, if that kind of makes sense. I think that way it could kind of become viable and kind of be put into the game. Hopefully I explained that, but again, it's right off the top, and I'm trying my best to explain it. But I don't think it should be like you taking over areas, since your main goal is just the gold and all that stuff. You go up to the leader of any kingdom and you go, hey, I want to start a mercenary guild or mercenary whatever under your kingdom, because it's not supposed to be as big as a kingdom, but it's still supposed to be pretty big, right? And then every single town, and it could even be every single castle you visit, there's a new button in that menu that pops up on the left, and you can say enter guild. And it works the same way as a tavern works, where you enter it, there's certain people you can talk to, this, and that, and the fourth, right? And I think that way it could become pretty viable. But like I said before, this effectiveness score, I totally agree on. This is a very good idea, where obviously you can see how well they have performed, and hopefully it's ever changing, so you can see 4 years down the line how every single mercenary performed. I think that's great. What's it called? This whole tenants thing, I don't know exactly what you mean by it. It's kind of like how they will carry themselves. So kind of like controls and rules that they have to follow, which kind of makes sense. But again, I don't think these two things coincide. You can have both these things. These are two different concepts, if that kind of makes sense, right? What I would do is I would keep policies, but they will be obviously different policies geared towards, your mercenary like, how like in your policies for kingdoms you have like ones that affect tier 3, tier 2 and tier 1 clans and stuff like that, or just affects the tiers, affects the people who own the most land, the people who own the least amount of land. Certain policies are better for the certain different varieties. I think that should be the same way, but in mercenary terms. Like if one mercenary clan has just a bunch of people on the map, a bunch of soldiers, there's a policy that says, hey, if you have a lot of soldiers and you're fighting constantly for this, you get minus on wages. Policies that gear towards that. Or let's say you have a clan that's under you that's so super rich that they're always just helping the mercenary clan just stay alive. Whenever another person is poor, they kind of give them a little bit of money, because that's in the game now. It's implemented. Clans do share money. So for those guys who have a lot, they should get something like, something that can help them with their finances, stuff like that. I think policy should still be in there, but maybe some kind of rules or some kind of controls. Like we're getting kingdom controls and clan controls very soon, so this will make sense. But yeah, overall, it should be in the game. Might be a mod, but I like the idea. Definitely a cool idea. It's an idea that it sounds like it should be there. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'll upvote this. Let me know if you like my ideas. Let me know if you like his ideas. Go check his post out. Go show him some love. Obviously, upvote if you like it. Go comment, all of that. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully I kind of explained it best way I could. But yeah, you guys take it easy and stay safe.